Hi, welcome to IBC 2017. I'm Joe O'Halloran, Editor-in-Chief of Rapid TV News. And I'm here with Richard Brandon, CMO of Edgeware. Richard, good afternoon. Welcome to our Rapid video.
Thank you.
Here we are, Hall 14, busier than ever.
It is.
As usual. Loads more new faces. Is this a burgeoning industry? What's been happening?
Oh, absolutely burgeoning. I mean, obviously, we all see people watching more and more TV online, and we're at the heavy end of delivering all that stuff. So, it's been a great show so far. It's been very busy, and just more and more scale, I guess, is the biggest single challenge we're facing here, as well as some specific issues, which we'll probably talk about as well around content protection.
If you look at things like just the general networks, there's been a drift towards IP-based video and also skinny bundle, and now we have the likes of Disney investigating direct-to-consumer plays. In a general sense, what's this going to place on the networks to support a high-quality experience?
Yeah, I mean, all of these guys are producing great content, and of course that's why any of us end up watching in television, tuning in, if you can still call it that, in a digital environment. And so I think it's not so much the format of the bundles that will make that much difference, but I think there's a sense of expectation of quality. Obviously, we've been talking about 4K for a little while. That's becoming more real. And those things all put more strain on any delivery system. And again, it comes down to scale. How do we scale this stuff efficiently? It's easy enough to deliver it on low scale, few hundred, few thousand users. How do we deliver it to millions of subscribers at 4K and beyond?
The other thing is, as you're saying, you're mad at this, what you do for a living. It must be great to be in the CDN space. However, there's still a perception as CDN, it's just putting stuff on the cloud. I'm sure that's not the case.
Well, it's absolutely not the case. I think the move to cloud in IT in general, and the obvious benefits that come in terms of flexibility and agility, it's created a kind of false buzz that everything's better in the cloud, and there's many aspects of a CDN actually that work well in cloud computing. The control layer, the way we deal with many requests coming in from millions of subscribers. But at the end of the day, we have to do the heavy lifting of streaming content from somewhere as close to the viewer as possible. Otherwise, we don't get the quality, and we're still stuck with a world of buffering and glitches. And when we think about the cloud, we can't forget where things are physically located. So it's all right to virtualize, but if that virtualization implies centralization, then we're going to have quality issues. So we have to be aware of that, and that's what we'd be advising our clients when we do a design with them.
Now here we sit at IBC 2017, and what are you here to demonstrate? And I believe you've been the recipient of a award.
We have. We were very pleased with winning one of the best awards in the show from the IABM around our new watermarking solution, and that's around content protection and solving what seems to be becoming a huge problem of content piracy and people watching pretty high quality illegal content. I think the days of the very poor quality pirated content seem to be behind us, and this is becoming a big issue for people. So what we're demonstrating here is the ability to embed a watermark that survives transmission through the CDN, so we can stream every individual user with a robust watermark that we've embedded at a bitstream level and very efficiently. So if content starts to be retransmitted and pirated, we can allow that content owner to shut that stream off straight away, or to follow up with legal proceedings as they see fit.
I have to say, it's a bit of a surprise to see a traditional CDN player indulge in watermarking. Is this a shift of you guys into security, or is this just like an evolution of CDNs and networks?
It's more the latter, really. It's really a necessity if we're going to watermark stuff that it has to survive a CDN. And the nature of CDNs is that they copy things. It's how they become efficient. It's how they scale. So we need to keep copies of the content. And obviously copying a watermark is self-defeating. So we need to re-embed that watermark at the last point of the streaming. So it's not so much that we're trying to becoming a watermarking company as much as watermarking is becoming a necessary feature of CDNs.
So where does that fit in with the products and services that you have here in terms of content delivery?
So we have, I mean, important part of our CDN architecture is our server that's actually doing the caching and streaming. We have a server on our own purpose-built hardware. We have a server that works in software only on standard hardware, and that's the point, the last edge of the network. That's the product that will end up embedding this code, and that code could come from multiple places. In this case here on the show, we're using code that's coming from a company called Content Armor, a French company who specialize in forensic watermarking, and they're extracting things that we can embed in our final stream, where we can extract stuff from the actual image and then re-embed it in a way that the viewer can never see it.
What's the traditional customers, are they placing more demands on you to broaden the scope of things? It's not just about feeds and speeds and
yeah, of course. I mean, and part of it is feeds and speeds and scale and just getting bigger and bigger, but doing that more efficiently. And one of the reasons people tend to come to us rather than buy a CDN service is because they're looking for an economy of scale. So that is important. But additional things to that would be analytics. I think people are looking for a greater understanding of how their viewers are consuming their content, and they can get that if they own the whole delivery path. And then some of these extra features like the content protection will be other areas as well.
So with that in mind and looking into the future, where does this leave the product roadmap?
Well, I think there's a number of areas we'll continue to develop. Some of them might be adjacent spaces to us at the moment, which I probably don't want to talk about too much. But there's some important features. Alongside watermarking, we've developed a way of repackaging the format at the edge of the network, which is actually very exciting. It probably increases the efficiency of the CDN by a factor of 2 or 3. Where we're sending all the information in a single format. So instead of us having to repackage in the core or the origin and sending HLS or Dash or these different formats across, we're sending across in a common format, storing it once, and then repackaging it on the fly as we go out. So very much more efficient for the CDN, and a way of really allowing you to do something like 4K without upgrading your CDN at all.
Which do you foresee a splurge in 4K now that Apple's now doing it seriously with the TV device?
I'm not sure we see a sudden spike, but I think there will be a continued growth. And I think what's important to recognise, we all get carried away with the future, of course, and we talk about the industry and these kind of events, but a lot of our viewing still happens in standard definition. So we've still got a lot of people who have yet to shift from standard definition to high definition, maybe simply because the HD channels are further down the program guide. So, before we get too carried away about 4K, we've got to deliver still a transition from everyone from SD to HD, and that alone is going to put 4 times as much capacity on the network.
Which you'll be able to manage through Carson?
We will.
Well, look forward to it. Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.